Hi and welcome to Only Facts by Dry Spark. And in this video, we are going to talk about a very important thing, and that is related to monsoons. Since you all know that monsoons are here, and it's very important to maintain your cars and motorcycles because, yes, if you do not maintain your cars or bikes, then obviously you will be a hazard on the road for other people and it will be dangerous for you as well. So let's quickly start this video, and I'll be giving you a few tips that you can follow to keep your cars and yourself safe on the road. So a number one fact is we are going to talk about tires. Now, you all know that a tire is a very crucial thing in your vehicle because it is the only point of contact between the vehicle and the road, and that is very necessary because if you have worn out tires, then obviously you will have less grip, and if you have less grip, the chances of accidents will be really high. So you need to check that whether your tires are in optimum condition. So on the tires, you have a tread marker where you have gaps where you can actually check how worn your tire is, and if your tire are worn and if the monsoons are here, you need to change them immediately, because if you don't change your tires, then obviously during a hard braking or something, your car will definitely skid. And if suddenly someone comes in front of you, maybe it can be a person, it can be an animal, it can be anything, it'll be difficult for you to stop your vehicle. So yes, a tire check is a must for either your bikes or your cars, especially in two-wheelers, because obviously two-wheelers have less grip on the road because there are two wheels and you have to balance it yourself. So if you have worn out tires, then definitely it will be very risky for you to be on the road, and apart from that, you will be a risk to other people as well. So yes, you have to keep a check on your tires. If your tires are worn out, you need to buy new tires, and you can do that by checking the tread on the tire. There's a tire tread marker gauge also that you can buy out of any online site, and basically what you can do is you can just insert it into the tire and you'll get a marking by saying that you have so much tread left, and if you have less, then you go to the market and you get yourself a new tire. So tire is a very important thing. No matter it be monsoon, no matter it be dry, tires are the only point of contact between your vehicle and the road. So if you have worn out tires, you definitely need to change it immediately. Now, the second point that I'm going to tell you is again related to wheels, and those are the brakes. Now, tires are important, but obviously brakes are important because that is what will help stop your vehicles. Now, a worn out brake is absolutely hazardous on the road. You should not do that. You have a marker on your brake pad, so you have to keep a check from time to time. Or if your disc and your drum brakes have worn out, you should get them serviced and you should buy new pads immediately, especially for four-wheelers, because obviously the car has weight and the more time taking it is for the vehicle to stop. So yeah, if you have a heavy vehicle and if you are driving in the rain continuously, then you need to take a check on your brakes as well, because brakes are really important. And if you have worn out brakes, then obviously your car will take time to stop. I'm not saying that it will not stop, it will take time to stop, but in that moment there could be an accident or there could be a hazardous situation on the road between you and whatever you collide into. So yeah, you have to do a brake check also. When you're doing your tire check, you can check your brakes as well, because obviously when you'll change your tires, you'll have full access to your brake unit, and that time the mechanic or yourself, you can have a check and see whether the pads are worn out, and if they are worn out, you can get new ones for yourself, and you should definitely get new ones. If they are worn out, you should not waste time on that. So number three is again a very crucial thing, that is wipers. So obviously if you're driving in the rain, you will be able to see nothing if your visibility is blocked by rain or by muck or by anything that is obstructing it. And a good set of wipers is really important, because obviously if you have worn out wipers, you must have seen that once it swipes and it comes down, it leaves some marks on the windshield, and if there are marks on the windshield, obviously the visibility will be less, and you never know how heavy it can rain or how light it can rain. So if you have rain, no matter it is slow or it is heavy rain, wipers, a good set of wipers is really important, because obviously if you don't have a good set of wipers, then your visibility will not be more than enough. And especially if you have a lot of water clogged and you have a lot of muck around, and if muck comes on your windscreen, a bad set of wipers will absolutely spoil your visibility, because once it swipes, it will just create a glaze over your windscreen, and that is very dangerous. So a good set of wipers is also very required. So it's preferred if you change your wipers once a year during the monsoon, just before the monsoon, so that you are prepared and you have better visibility, whether it be day or night in heavy rainfall. Also, it's very important. So number four, we are going to talk about the underbody paint protection. Now, what is that? Basically, if you're staying in an area and you have a lot of water clogging over there, well, water clogging means you have water that is basically your tires are dipping inside the water and you have some water splashing underneath the car. So what will happen over time if you have an area that you're crossing continuously during the monsoons for like a month, 2 months? So your underbody parts are obviously metal and they are prone to corrosion if they are exposed to water, and that is what happens. So if people don't take care about rust, so first there's surface rusting, and if you leave that, then obviously the rust increases, and the chances of the nuts and bolts and whatever is metal around, if it's catching rust, then obviously it will break eventually with load. So to solve that solution, you have an underbody paint protection. Now what that paint protection does is they basically lift your car, they clean your entire car, they lube the things that need to be lubed, and then they spray the entire underbody with that paint protection. So basically what it does is it makes your vehicle water resistant from underneath all the parts. You have to make sure that the spray has been done correctly. When your car is on the lift and they are doing it, you have to see it manually, and you have to see if some parts are left, and if it is left, obviously you can do a double coat as well. So that's really important. That will help prevent corrosion underneath the car when you're driving through surfaces, because obviously once water touches and it dries, there is some amount of corrosion like surface rust. So that protection will not let that happen. So number 5, let's talk about the lighting setup that you have. Now obviously the company gives you a very decent lighting setup, and these days you have LED lights that are pretty powerful in the market as well. Now older cars have halogen setups, but halogen setups over the year, because of the sun and everything, the reflectors kind of become dull, they become yellow. So what you can do is you can either get your lighting setup changed, or you can upgrade your lights. So in that way you will have better visibility on the road, and this especially if you are a night driver and if it's raining heavily, then obviously you need better visibility. And how will you have better visibility? Obviously you'll have to change your wipers, as I mentioned. So if you have good wipers and if you don't have better lights, then you will not be able to see that is in front of you, and there is a high chance that you will run into an accident, or maybe you can run over anything, because if it's raining very heavily, there'll be a curtain of water in front of you and you will be able to see nothing. So an upgraded light system, especially during the monsoon season, you can put auxiliary lights, but it is an illegal modification. What you have to do, if you are putting auxiliary lights, then you have to put a cover on that, and just in case if you're on a highway and it's raining very heavily, you can remove those covers from the auxiliary light and you can light the entire street with that. So yes, a good set of lighting setup is very, very important, not only at the front but at the back as well, because obviously if you have a bad tail light and there's no visibility from behind, there's a high chances of that then someone might ram you from behind, and obviously you both will be in a very, very crucial situation, especially if it is raining. So yeah, a good lighting setup is very important, and definitely you should have it during the monsoon seasons. Okay, so number 6 is a bonus tip, and you have to be very careful because it is about your fuel that you're going to put in your vehicle. Now, as you all know that the E20 is running about, and there's a 20% blend of ethanol in the fuel. And just in case if you have seen those videos where people are mixing water in the fuel, so the moment they mix water in the fuel, you will see a white residue or like a translucent residue that settles down. Now, that is basically ethanol breaking from the fuel and separating. Not everything separates, but most of the parts separates, and that settles. So if you have a bad gasket on your fuel cap, then obviously there will be water seepage when it is raining very heavily. So if water by any chance goes in your fuel tank, then trust me, it will be a nightmare for you, because the moment the water will hit the fuel, it will start separating the ethanol from the petrol, and that will settle below. And just below on your fuel tank is your fuel pump, and that is why people are having the fuel pumps that are getting worn out, that are breaking down, and basically the fuel pumps are getting corroded. So, and you are seeing videos right now, and you have to take extra precautions. So for bikers, it's very important because the fuel tank is right over here. In cars, obviously you have a fuel cap and then you have a lid on top, but for bikes, it's kind of open, and if you do not maintain that, if you do not maintain the rubber seals, then obviously you will have water seepage inside, and once water goes in, it is the end for the vehicle. Because in today's condition, you all know that E20 has become almost compulsory for all fuels, whether it be like your normal petrol, your XB95, or little above that also. Well, obviously you have the 100 octane fuel that is almost pure and has very, very less amount of ethanol, but obviously it's very expensive, maybe about 160, 70, 80 rupees a liter. It depends on where you're buying it, but most of the people cannot afford that, so that's why they will go for the regular fuel. And regular fuel obviously has 20% ethanol. So yes, it is very important for you to check your tank caps and all your gaskets before you leave out, especially for a trip or if you're doing a daily commute in the monsoon. So I hope these 6 tips will be helpful for you in the monsoon, and definitely do follow these tips if you want to be safe out, because obviously as you all know that it's monsoon, it's wet outside, there's waterlogging, roads are slippery. So all these things will definitely help you in your next road journey, especially if you're traveling in the monsoon. I hope you like this video. If you liked it, do give a thumbs up, share and subscribe to all our social media channels. I'm Promit signing out. See you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, be safe and drive safe.